Now that we're at the end of this course, I just want to take a few minutes to show you some of the work I've done in ZBrush. I'll talk about the tools and the techniques that I've used, as well as talk about why I used them. So this is a bull that I sculpted in ZBrush. I actually started with a base mesh from Maya that is a very simple rudimentary model built in Maya that I could then import into ZBrush and then continue to work on and sculpt on. Let me just increase some subdivision levels so we can see more of the detail. Now the bull is in an action pose right now, but it was sculpted mostly along the process in a neutral pose with him just standing still and his head facing straight forward. Even the tail was sticking out straight in a completely unnatural line. I did it that way because I didn't want to have to sculpt all these fine details and muscles independently on one side and then have to do it again on the other side. I wanted to be able to use symmetry so that I could sculpt everything on one side and have it be copied over to the other side. Then when I was happy with the result, I used the transpose tools here in ZBrush to move all of the joints and the body and the tail and everything into this pose. I also use ZBrush's polypaint features to give this guy some color. The entire body has one brown color, but the horns and the hooves have some extra coloration just to set them apart from the body. Let's zoom a little bit closer in so we can really get a look at this texture that I worked into this. And I'll subdivide one more time. This model has over 10 million polygons, so it's kind of pushing this computer to its limits. But you can see there's all kinds of fine little grooves and hair clumps. It was a lot of fun to really texture this model. Okay, so let's look at another image now. This is the diner, and it was done using a combination of Maya and ZBrush. In case you don't know how Maya works, it's more of a general 3D application that includes animation and rendering and rigging, a lot of things that are beyond the scope of ZBrush, which mostly focuses on modeling and sculpting. Maya was particularly useful for modeling the hard surface or mechanical objects such as the motorcycle and the diner in the background. ZBrush was more useful for the more organic objects such as the rhino himself and his clothing. I also used ZBrush for the snow on the ground. These tracks here were sculpted in using an alpha that just repeated a footprint texture. In Maya, I was also able to set up lighting and create these glow effects and put the whole scene together and light it and render it. Then I took it into Photoshop and was able to do color correction and different effects to bring out different lighting effects or different snow effects. ZBrush works great with other programs. You can bring its strengths of organic modeling into other programs which might be better at other things to combine them into one really stunning image. There's really no limit to what you can do with ZBrush. The tools and techniques can be mixed in so many creative ways that really anything is possible.